ever seen it.
You sit at like the kid table at Christmas?
No. I made CSM, so it kind of evened out. You know what I mean? They made fun of me for that.
So you were there, and you're like, okay, that's a lot of black.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, I mean, I'm not what?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Once they saw it, don't right there, like, okay, you're okay now. But,
Do you have?
I just want to be a politics, but you know, my last 10 years in the military was a lot of politics. So I think you can help more about doing something.
Well, you can try.
Well, nuance is hard to do. The higher you get, so the higher you get, the more consensus you get. And that's what politics are. Because you're trying to do a nuanced thing for a bunch of people who have a bunch of different representatives, so that way it becomes full talk.
Yeah. Things like the military
Absolutely, we work for politics.
I think I sit out the final on Friday afternoon.
I had a battalion, and I was actively Army National Guard. So I was a brigade engineer battalion CSM. At the same time, I was the only Texas engineer brigade operations sergeant.
I'm not sitting down now.
All border fences to Habitat for Humanity to
Yeah, we need to talk about one of the first initial council day. We're doing the workshop. I copied that over from the previous schedule, and we either need to do it February 10th or February 24th. And I have it as like the 16th right now. I don't know where that copy from. We're going back. I wouldn't think so either.
different presentations for you.
So do I run the meeting now?
I don't.
How does this work?
Now you run the meeting, and so you'll be the chair and then the vice chair, and so then you are no longer chair and vice chair for this meeting.
Great.
But she's still part of the committee?
She is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Actually, we can turn this one over.
Item
And
4A.
do you want to go ahead and take over on this one?
3A.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, item
we'll be
4A.
at 4A. Let me just make sure what we've got. Yep, we do. There we go. Yeah, Jeremy already put yours in. So we are good
This is handy.
to
Little
go.
cheat sheet.
And then the clicker should work.
It's like driving a car. You watch everyone do it, and then you have to do it the
And the
first time.
clicker will work.
And the clicker over?
Yep.
Okay.
So you're already in this one. Yep.
Let's see, this is forwards, backwards, always. So that's
Yeah.
good time. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Ben Platt. I work for Kimley Horn. I've been preparing the update to the roadway impact fee study, and I'm kind of here to just give a quick 101 and the status of the project overall. So, and then what the purpose of the CIAC committee is as relates to the roadway impact fee study as well. So all that'll be kind of mixed in, and we'll have some results from the study as we go in there, and we can jump around and look at anything.
So is this 4A and 4B?
This is mostly 4A because it goes over what you're doing. I'm
Okay.
not going to do a separate presentation because it was already part of theirs.
Cool.
Efficient.
Perfect.
So the role of the advisory committee in the CIAC. Oh, I got it advanced. That might be my fault. You advise and assist the city council in adopting an impact fee study, review and provide comments on the capital improvement plan, land use assumptions, and the impact fee overall. So how it works is we'll introduce these things, and then we will give you all a report in the coming weeks, and then next month you will make a recommendation to council on what you think about the report, if it should be approved or not. Since this is just an update, you can actually do all of those things at once: the update to the CIP, the update to the land use assumptions, and then the overall maximum impact fee, the report, recommend to adopt the study or not. When you do one for the first time, you have to do those in separate steps, but since it's just an update, you do it all in one. After adoption, the role of the committee is to monitor and evaluate implementation of the capital improvement plan, and file semi-annual reports. So every 6 months, there'll be a report on the status of the program. You'll come get a presentation generally from city staff regarding on how it's going, and to oversee that process. And then additionally, whenever it's time for an update, you make it advise the political subdivision, the city, of the need to update or revise the land use assumptions, capital improvement plan, or impact fee. So this could happen, it's not to exceed every 5 years, but it can happen sooner than that. So if something changes, you can make a recommendation to update the report more often than that. Most cities do it between 4 and 5 years. Okay, so moving on. Do we have any questions about the role of the advisory committee?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you get public input before you finish your report, or no?
No. Generally, on the first, when you're running a first one, so this is an update, so it's, just changing the calculation for the state of the city today, right? And you need to look at that every 5 years to make sure it's current. Whenever you're doing a study for the first time, a lot of times you will do a lot of citizen outreaches to make sure people know it's coming, the development community knows it's coming, and all of that. But generally, during updates, you can do it either way, but we have not done a ton of that. It'll have to be posted publicly and available online for 60 days before adoption. So there's a pretty long, 2 months long period for people to be able to get online, look at it, and it has to be posted in the newspaper and things like that. So it has to be advertised and everything, and that's all by state law.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna switch over to kind of what an impact fee is. Gonna try to do a quick 101 of what it is, and the advantages, disadvantages, what they pay for, what they don't pay for. At the most basic level, it's a one-time fee for new development. It's a mechanism to recover infrastructure costs required to serve the future development. Said another way, a popular way to refer to them is it's a way for growth to pay for growth, right? If you need new roads, you need new transportation infrastructure, and that's due to development, they are the ones paying for that. The impact fee calculation is actually done in a way where the growth is only paying for the part of the roadway system that they are adding, that they need added to facilitate them.
And the last part of it, it's a legal way to collect a flexible fee for infrastructure. So the city gets a lot of flexibility. You previously do a traffic impact analysis where a development is tied to specific improvements around their site. But really, if you have a bunch of sites coming online, it'd be better for all of them to get their money together and put it towards a roadway to do a big project. A single Whataburger shouldn't be in charge of widening a whole road, but 10 Whataburgers might be, right? So it helps the city to collect those funds for that. There's a lot of advantages to them. They're equitable, so if you build a Whataburger on one side of town versus the other, you're going to pay the same fee as long as it's in the same service area. It's very helpful that's predictable, so as soon as the developer is looking at a site, they know what their fee is going to be. Whenever we do, I'm going to keep talking about traffic impact analysis, there's another way to do it, and they're still done, but you have to go through a whole long study before you know how much you're going to pay to the transportation infrastructure. But as soon as I want to build a 300 unit multifamily site, you can put that right in a calculator and know exactly what your roadway impact fee is going to be. It ensures accountability. So by state law, the funds associated with the impact fees that are collected have to be spent in the service area within 10 years of them being collected. And then they're also proportional, right? So I keep bringing up a Whataburger, or a smaller development would pay less, right? Something like, I don't know, a nail salon or something is going to pay less of a fee than a Whataburger would, because Whataburger has a lot more traffic, a lot more people go there, and all of that. Or a huge single family development, there's going to be a lot of cars driving because of that single family development. They'll pay considerably more than some smaller retail shop. Pretty important to talk about what you can pay for with roadway impact fees versus what you cannot pay for from roadway impact fees. As I was getting at earlier, the real purpose of them is for growth to pay for growth. So you can only pay for those parts of roadways that are to serve future development. So a roadway needs to be widened, that adds capacity, that is eligible. But if you need to just mill and overlay, do basic maintenance costs, things like that, that is not eligible for roadway impact fee because the existing users need that work done. And of course, anything that goes into a project, right? You can't just pay for only the construction costs. You have to pay for the survey, the engineering fees, right-of-way acquisition. Any debt service is pretty interesting. So if the city is paying bonds on anything, they can use roadway impact fees to pay those down as long as they're in the roadway impact fee study. And additionally, a lot of these, you need to have some sort of planning study, engineering fees to figure out where the roads go, what the roads should look like. Those are also eligible. The study itself actually is also a recoverable cost, so the consultant fee to conduct the study is something that you can pay for out of the roadway impact fee bank. Any questions on this? Basically, growth pays for growth. It's important that the future development pays for their roads, and the existing citizens are not paying into this program. It's only the future growth that pays.
But it's highlighted once the money is spent. There's an accounting of, hey, we spent this much on administration, this much on this much on this.
Yes, you have to keep track of what the money goes to. It's more like you collect these fees, and then projects come online. You're like, oh, this is a roadway impact fee eligible project, and you can pay towards that.
Okay.
Yeah, my question would be more like financial advisor, because impact fees are obviously not scheduled. So it's probably more of a planning dollar than a debt service dollar, but you can't really bond on based on whether or not how many impact fees are coming in. But
right, so you have to pay down bonds.
It's just kind of a general comment.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like prudent.
You can pay down debt on projects that are included in the roadway impact fee program.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't know when they're coming in.
Sorry?
But you don't know that money's coming in until you get a check.
Right. Right, yeah, exactly.
But
yes.
ad valorem taxes are coming in every year, so it's really easy to bond. It's really easy to sell bonds on that, that's my point.
Yes.
It's just kind of a comment. Okay. It's got to be difficult to guess how much impact fees are coming in.
Yes, no, exactly, yeah, and things change. Collection rate will vary, and then you don't know how much is going to be developed as well.
Okay.
So there's a few basic components of this, right? We need to come up with a calculation. What does each single family home owe? So to do that, we need to make some land use assumptions. So how is the city going to develop in the next 10 years? Everything in the roadway impact fee is bound by a 10-year window. So we're looking at residential, basic, service, and retail. So different types of developments and how much we expect to come in here. It's important to note the roadway impact fee study is really just mostly looking at other studies and just adapting them to our needs. So we've just done the mobility master plan last year. So a lot of the roadway impact fee study is just adjusting that to serve our purpose. So to get the land use assumptions, for example, we have several inputs to look at that. There's parcel data, we see growth trends, known large developments by coordinating with city staff. We know huge 1,000-family, single-family home developments coming in. We'll include that in our study. Campo has a very good, that's the Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization. They have their 2050 travel demand model, so they have projected out growth in the area. And then, of course, there's the water wastewater. They did a similar exercise, so we'll look at theirs, make sure our numbers are looking good together. And then the future land use map over here, which we have to the right. So basically, I'm saying we're not doing the land use assumptions from scratch. We're adapting land use assumptions that have been done previously for the purposes of our study. And really, what's different about ours is it's a 10-year window. How much growth are we going to see in the next 10 years? Next component is service units. This is always a little hard to describe. For water wastewater, they use LUEs, living.
Unit equivalent.
Unit equivalent, exactly. So that makes a lot of sense for like a water, how does this compare to a single family home? Ours is a little bit different. It uses vehicle miles. So same thing, there's two variables. So there's a trip generation manual and then a trip length. So, a single family home is expected to see so many trips in a peak hour, and then how far do those trips go on average? Show the math on the next screen a little bit. So one single family home, it says it has 0.94 vehicles on average in the PM peak hour. That's just the highest peak hour generally. So if you build 1,000 homes, you're going to see 940 trips in the PM peak hour. And that average trip length, that trip is 4.3 miles. So you multiply those together, you get a vehicle mile. And then you can start comparing it to other land uses in that way. The easiest way for me to say is it's roadway LUEs. And it just allows us to be able to compare all different types of development. So we can compare, a single family home to a large retail development or a school, university, whatever it is.
Has the traffic manual been updated recently? Is it still? I know we were contemplating going to the new manual, and then we didn't do that. But now it seems like with return to work, it would be changing. I don't know.
So it's been updated a few times since COVID. It's actually just been updated to the 12th after the study was completed. So it's the study is currently using the IT 11th edition. That's probably 2 or 3 years old. It was updated once after COVID, like return to work. So I work a lot with the IT manual. You're seeing a lot less trip generation for like single family homes and office. Both are, producing a little bit fewer trips.
My comment is it went down. It seems like it would go back up.
Okay.
For single family because of return to work.
Mm-hmm. As I said, the 12th is really new, so we're still diving into it. When I personally looked at it, I'm a total nerd about this. Like when it comes out, we're all like interested in the new land uses, especially, but then also how they've changed. And they're still mostly going down. I have not seen things go up as much. I don't think they're trying to be that reactive in it. I don't think they considered COVID. Like the 11th, I don't think they super dipped it down because of COVID. In my opinion, it did reduce a little bit, but I have not seen it go back up. The average trip length we get based on RIDIS data is what it is. It's like origin destination data using like your cars like GPS and things like that. It's like big data basically how we get it. So, the average trip arriving at a single family home, how long is that within Pflugerville? It's a big data online database where we get it from. The next component is the capital improvement plan. So you need a CIP document, a basis to make our specific roadway impact fee CIP. For us, we use the recently updated, the 2025, version of the Mobility Master Plan. So we had a very up-to-date transportation master plan, which is great news. That's always what we want to hear when we have one of these. Someone's already looked at what these roads should look like, where they should go, and we're just taking that and be like, okay, which of these roadways are eligible for our CIP, for the roadway impact fee CIP? Kimley Horn, I work for Kimley Horn, also did the MMP update, so it's kind of like walk down the hall, they gave me the files, then we started working on this. Okay, so we take all of those inputs, and then we have a maximum fee. The simplest way to say it is you take the total cost of the CIP, and then you divide it by how much land use assumption, or how much growth is going to come in. So each individual unit of growth pays their dollar amount corresponding to it. So total cost of the CIP, this highlighted section here, is the basic math. The math is a little more complicated for that because you have to like take out things like ad valorem tax and things like that. But at the most basic level, each small unit of development pays a certain dollar amount based on the total cost of the CIP and the total amount of growth that we see coming in. Okay, so that was sort of the quick 101 of impact fees overall. Now we're going to kind of go into this specific update that we're looking at here. So right now, meeting one highlighted, we have the land use assumptions to show you all the service units and then the capital improvement plans that we can look at. These are the land use assumptions that we've come up with for the 2025-2035. Just so everyone's aware, when I say we've been like working close with city staff the entire time, meeting, showing them and everything.
What are you considering basic versus service?
Yes, so basic retail is things like industrial land uses. It's an official definition. It always gets everyone back. Me included. I have to look it up every time. I looked it up right before I came in here. But yeah, basic is things like industrial land uses. Service is things like offices and institutions and things like that. And then retail is what you think of as, Walmart, all that. And again, these are based on, the Campo model, the future land assumptions, and honestly, the last study, right? We wouldn't want to show like 10 times as much growth as the last study. A little hard to contemplate with this many numbers, but yeah, that's a key part of the report. We have broken down some other ways. So this is the first time you're seeing the service areas. So there is a rule within Chapter 395 of the Local Development Code, which is what governs the roadway impact fees, and the service areas are limited to 6 miles. So the thought of that is, so these service areas A, B, and C you're seeing here, the money that is collected in service area B for development in service area B must be spent in service area B. And the thought of this is you want it to be spent within 6 miles of your development. So really, you don't want this situation where someone is like way out east in service area C and they have a development and they don't see any benefit from it, right? We keep taking money from C and spending it like way over in A. And it's
who designated the areas, or how were the areas designated?
These were designated during the previous study, but basically you generally want to have as few as possible just for city staff to like administer the program. Makes it more complicated, more bank accounts and, more projects and everything. That's one way. Generally you want to put them on major roadways. So the thought is that people in A and C and B will move to 130 and go out of the system. There's less trips that move like from C over to A. Of course, there's trips that move from C over to A, but you want to put them on kind of arterials or highways so that the thought is a lot of traffic will move to them and then move away from those. Trying to keep them somewhat the same size. Due to the 6 mile rule, I do think during the next update, if it keeps being annexations, the ETJ goes very far east, that likely C will need to get split into C and D at some point. A and B feel pretty landlocked to me with up against other city limits. Yeah, but this one shows specifically how many residential units we'll see. So that's single family plus multifamily units. Similar graph, just the same thing for retail. Move on to look at the CIP. So as I stated previously, the Pflugerville Mobility Master Plan was used to identify the infrastructure needed to serve future growth. We were only able to use projects that add capacity to the roadways. That's what I was saying earlier. So maintenance projects or even things like road diets, right? You take a 4-lane road, you take it down to a 3-lane road with parking, that wouldn't be eligible because it's not adding capacity to the roadway. Most of the MMP projects were capacity adding, so it's almost one-to-one the whole thing here. There's several different roadway project types. So funded means it's constructed or in design. So if there's still debt on a constructed project, it is still eligible because you can still collect impact fees and then pay down that debt. Widening projects are shown in there. Access management projects actually increase capacity, right? So you have like a 2-lane divided road or a 2-lane undivided road, and then you take it to a divided road. That does add some capacity because you have less people making left turns from the main lanes. So those will be in there. And then brand new projects is probably what we think, nothing currently there. It's important to note that there's also intersection projects here. Those are eligible. So, if we need some roundabouts or signals or even highway overpasses or large bridges are generally shown as intersection projects that are standalone. A lot of the roadway projects will have, a bridge component to them, but sometimes, it's just an overpass where it makes more sense to calculate it as an intersection project. So the actual CIP, each of them are broken down by service area. So these are all the projects for service area A. You have the total cost of the CIP there, $147 million. And that's the overall cost if you build everything on the map, not just the roadway impact fee part. So these roads are going to serve existing development as well as future development. So existing development owes some to it as well. So that's the total cost to construct everything. The actual amount that is roadway impact fee eligible will probably be like $60 million, something under that. A similar map for service area B here, 114 million overall. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have described this already. You can see the circle meters, it's kind of like beige, yellow behind it. Those are the roadway projects. Then all the green, smaller ones, those are all the intersection projects. So this service area particularly has a lot of intersection projects as well.
And this is less expensive because B is pretty much built out? Because this is
B is a lot more built out, yeah. I would agree with that, yeah. And then B has had a lot of developer-led projects that fall off, right? So a developer builds a road, we can't collect money on it. If they built the road, they spend it. So particularly down kind of, you see at the bottom right, down in this area, like Impact Way, and down there, there's been some development built. If you look at B7, which is like right in the middle, there's like a huge black line that just ends into a red line on Finnick. Yes, correct. Yeah, and that was a developer-built project, so it falls off.
Gotcha.
This service area is actually a little cheaper than the last time we did the study, which we generally do not see, but that's because there's been developers building a lot of the projects in this area. Moving on to C, I don't think that's super surprising. It's the most expensive one because there's a lot of, as you annex, you start to take over those old county roads that were built 24 feet wide and really need to be improved and modernized. Another thing to point out here, only projects that are within the full purpose city limits are eligible, and you can only charge a roadway impact fee within the city limits. So that's where you see a lot of these funny projects just ending in the middle of nowhere. It's because they move over to the ETJ and become a county road, or the thought is that they would still be maintained by the county. One other small engineering thing. You can also see we have the floodplains shown on here. There's a ton of floodplain in this area, so that makes the projects more expensive themselves, just building those overpasses. Last thing everyone always wants to know, what our impact fees look like compared to our neighbors. So we'll take a few slides to kind of go through those and see where we're at. The role, my role in this is to produce the study. At the end of the study, I give a max fee, but the collection rate is set by council. So, I can say whatever the max fee is, you can't set the collection rate above that max fee, but you can set it anywhere below it. So right now how these graphs work is we have Pflugerville is all the way on the left, and these are the current rates. So this one you can see kind of the darker green, that's the collection rate, and the lighter green is the max fee, the total you could charge. Just a little history on everyone else here. So Georgetown just got theirs adopted at the end of August. I did complete that study as well. So the rates aren't, especially for single family, aren't much above the actual current Pflugerville ones. Round Rock, that's funny. I actually also did the Round Rock one in 2023. They had some pretty high rates. They used to have a lot of projects in Round Rock. So they're remaining one of the higher in the area. Hutto also just adopted an update in 24 here. So when I see this, I think the current collection rates are close to similar to your neighbors. There will be potential to have higher collection rates because I don't have the max fees here. I figured we'd focus just on what I'm seeing thus far and focus on max fees at the next meeting. But the max fees are going to go slightly up, I expect. We're still waiting to finish. There's a financial component looking at the debt and status of projects that a third-party consultant does. Kimberly Horn does not do. So we're trying to finalize those max fees right now. I expect to have those in the coming weeks. But generally, I expect the max fees are probably going to go up.
Are the calculations about the same? They come up with the calculations about the same in those other cities on those?
Is the process the same, you're saying? Yes,
basically.
it's the exact same, yeah.
Well, is the area the same? So the 6 mile radius or
6 miles the same.
6 mile area for each one of the service areas, is that about approximately the same for the other cities?
Yeah, everyone tries to kind of max out the 6 miles because for city staff to administer, they want as few service areas as possible. So everyone kind of tries to max that out. Georgetown does. You see, they have a ton of service areas. They got a good amount of land area there too. They have a few areas where they don't really want to charge a max fee. So you'll see that one at the very end. That's their downtown area. It's all built out. They don't want to build any new CIP projects, so they don't even charge a fee there. Funny enough, their highest one is Lake Georgetown, and they only charge for industrial in that service area. So they have two that they just don't even want to charge a fee. And I don't think Pflugerville's in that situation. Just kind of skews the graph a little bit. Kind of same story, or similar story with Round Rock is they have service area A's. They're really dense, built out, but they still need more roadways there. So it's harder to construct there, and then there's less development going on, so that it skews the fee up a little bit in that service area A in Round Rock. So there's nuances in all of them. Something interesting that I'm noticing the city is doing a little bit less of, but this single family land use currently, how the ordinance is written, is the collection rate is the same. So if you want to build a single family home anywhere in the city, your roadway impact fee will be the same. That's set as the max of service area A, as you can see here. It's one option, some cities do it, some don't. Like I said, you're seeing a little bit less of it, but you can see Round Rock and Hutto are still doing it a little bit. Round Rock charges more in A. I have a couple more land uses to look at. So industrial, I don't feel like there's a lot more industrial developments coming in, data centers specifically. So I think people are interested in industrial. So we figured we'd include that one. Georgetown by the end, I think their collections, they kind of ramp up. And by the end, they're going to be charging 100% for industrial everywhere. They want to charge the full max fee for industrial because of the influx that they're seeing. So you can see that there. A lot more expensive than Round Rock and Hutto. Moving on, office buildings. Similar story. I think when you're looking at these, we moved from the residential over to kind of the retail and different components. And to me, it seems like that's where Pflugerville's max fees in the previous study are getting a little bit further below, say, Round Rock and and Huttos. Next to a shopping center, so just any general shopping center here. It's a little confusing from the graph, but Georgetown is also going to charging 100% of the max as much as they can charge, whereas Round Rock and Hutto are just staying with less than the max. Sit down restaurant, it's gonna look like a similar graph.
Pflugerville's charging 22 grand.
One Hutto. Yes, this assumes a certain size restaurant. That's correct, yeah. So that's multiplied by how many trips they're going to have and how far those trips are going to go. So it's not just, they set a max fee that looks like something like $4,000, and then you multiply it by the trip length and then the trip generation, and that's how you get to this number.
Okay. Seems.
It's high.
Yeah.
It's high.
20. Sorry, which one?
20,000 is what they're charging, right?
Because it's the brand new section, or it's the newer
Or
section.
11,000. Yeah, B and C.
Yeah, B and C is 22 each.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So describe that. That's like per 1,000 square feet. So if it's I could sit down restaurants which are like 5,000 or 6,000 square feet. So they're actually charging 5 or 6 times that. So it's more
Okay,
like $100,000 or
$100,000
$120,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, those are like Jack Allen's and stuff like that is what they're
Yeah.
charging for. The smaller retail restaurants, they're not, I'm telling my clients not to do more than 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, I think there's some like fire code implications too if you keep them smaller. You'll notice there's a lot of them right under
Yeah,
there.
so it's under 8,000 square feet for
Yeah,
fire,
got it. Okay,
for
okay.
sprinklers.
Yeah.
And then, but like if you're in a retail center, it's not advisable to go over 1,500 square feet because of these impact fees.
Yeah.
It's just,
I thought it would, anyway, that's a council decision, but I thought they
Right.
wanted more sit-down restaurants. So,
Yeah, and that's a point to make. So I was making the point in Georgetown, right? They've kind of said industrial, you're charging 100% of the max. You can do it the other way too, right? Like, hey, we want more sit-down restaurant. We'll only charge 10%, and you can pick on any specifically. And
does shopping center include like big box, like Home Depot?
Yes. No, Home Depot actually has its own code, but I was thinking like Best Buy or Ross. Or,
Best Buy.
Yeah,
Those exist still.
Probably a bad example. Walmart.
Circuit City.
It's Home Depot.
Home Depot has a slightly different. There's like a home improvement store code in the ITE for Home Depot, so it's like the one big box that has its own, but the rest of
Does it
them.
make it less or more? Or?
I'd have to look off the top of my head.
I feel
I'm
like
not
that'd
positive.
be a huge sales tax generator. You want to incentivize that.
Yeah.
It seems like you don't want to penalize someone that's going to bring a lot of sales tax by charging them a bunch of impact fees to. I don't know if it, this stuff kind of all goes into a calculation and then you figure out if the project works. So
Right.
it's just,
Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't work.
I don't know. I don't build any Home Depots.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like retail, like small
Right, yeah, shopping
retail, mom and
centers,
pop
yeah.
retail.
But how much do the real sales tax generator, I feel like, is the huge stores, Home Depot, Costco, grocery stores.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They bring in a big influx of people from everywhere.
What about HEB? What's that? Shopping center?
That would most likely be shopping. So there's a supermarket one as well, but it has like a land use. I think that's more like you do that for like a Sprouts, something smaller like a Trader Joe's. But then I think once you get the size of an HEB, you would probably use shopping center.
They're probably like a Home Depot. They probably have the wrong number.
I don't know. Never built Home Depot. Like I said.
As I said, it's certainly a council decision. That's why we show these graphs, right? What are our neighbors doing? We don't want to be the most expensive, or we don't want to be the cheapest either, right? For a land use that you don't like. And just I'm trying to just present what other cities do, so you're informed.
Yeah. Georgetown was doing something different, and now they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah.
So maybe they're doing it to reduce the amount of industrial.
Yeah, industrial seems great.
Right?
Does it make a lot of traffic?
No.
Seems like a great
That might be another
neighborhood.
reason why they do it, right? They develop these huge plots of land, but they don't do any traffic, so they don't do any improvements, So
Right.
I don't know. these will also interact, right? There's traffic impact analysis. There's other ways to get money from developments, but some cities like Round Rock has just pretty much done completely away with traffic impact analysis, and they just use their impact fees now for it. So it's an option.
Good.
Happy to look back at any of those. Here's kind of the schedule we are working with right now. Most important thing for you all to know is that you will see me back up here on March 2nd to talk about the final report and for you all to make a recommendation. We are working to finalize that report right now as soon as we have it, and we're good with city staff. City staff and the consultant team are reviewing the draft report as we speak, and we'll have it on your desk and ready to discuss a month from today.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not trying to throw a bone in it, but you're not using the 12th manual for the.
It's not using the 12th manual, no.
In the next update, will it get kicked in there?
Yes. It will be
Okay.
the 12th.
That's
might be the 13th. By
just
then.
that from the developer standpoint, it's confusing.
Yes.
You have
Because
different manual.
some engineers are using the
engineers, They're
12.
gonna twist off on that, and
So how it'll
they're gonna get so confused.
how it'll work for the development community is there will be a separate calculator. You won't have to do your own ITE code, so you won't even know which edition you're using. I mean, because savvy, you'll know, but you go look at it. It'll be built into a calculator. You just select your land use
Right,
in the calculator. So you're not going to put in a letter and they're like, oh, that's 11th, you can't use it. It'll be an online calculator for it.
Yeah, the only other comment I have is not directed to you, just kind of in general. There has been a lot of people complaining about TIAs and impact fees. I say a lot of people, some people, not me, just. So it was kind of, when this was initially presented, it was like, this is in lieu of a TIA.
Right.
Hey, you're going to do this, you're going to pay it. Because like TIA, we get to argue about intersections and all this stuff.
Right.
And so, if you just want to pay your money and go away, this is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of a general comment. Like, I was in the impression it was one or the other, not both.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's typically both. And you guys know what TIA is, traffic impact analysis.
traffic impact analysis. So like the old way was, you would have a scoping meeting where you have your traffic engineer in the city and they go look at your project and the amount of trips it generates and the different intersections.
Mm-hmm.
So they figure out the traffic, and you can correct me if I misspeak, the traffic and the intersections, and then what improvements, how much money of improvements you need to contribute to each intersection. They lump it together, and generally they would pick an intersection for you to do an improvement to, or you pay money per lot or per amount.
Percentage.
And this is a way to be like, hey, instead of doing all that where we have to argue about this and it's long and drawn out, it takes a lot of time, you do these roadway impact fees where it's faster, theoretically.
Yeah, but sometimes, especially in section C, they might want you to do a TIA because they don't have enough. They don't have enough analysis to say, okay, this fee is blah blah blah. But there are times when they charge both fees. Period.
I do expect you'll still be doing a TIA and paying a roadway impact fee in the city of Pflugerville.
Yes.
I described how Round Rock doesn't do that. They're the exception, not the rule. City of Austin does both still.
But why?
The thought behind it is
Doesn't
that
I'm sorry, but
no problem. No.
either time is money, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not.
The thought
You're not.
behind.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying like.
You're good. I'm totally fine to explain what the thought behind doing both is. So, roadway impact fee is supposed to be those large system improvements, right? No development's ever going to be responsible for building a 6-lane arterial roadway. So it's getting you those improvements that move you far away from the site. Where a TIA is trying to look at the specific traffic problems, like at your property, basically.
So like
and vary
boundary
by your
traffic.
property. Like boundary traffic, larger development, the boundary might be a little bit larger, but
Nope.
it's
not. The boundary's the boundary. I don't know. Because then they get an arterial. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's time for a different argument. But
absolutely.
it needs to be TIA needs to be for the boundary. Like it's almost like a traffic memo, not a full blown TIA.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
City of Austin's gone that way a little bit more. They used to have big, complicated TIAs, and they've stopped doing that, and because they get their street impact fee there in dollars. But, not. I don't know the strategy for City of Pflugerville.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just to summarize, we're going to meet again on the 2nd. Will we get the copy of this presentation to be able to, and what additional information are we going to get in terms of they can the recommendations?
You will get a copy of the presentation, absolutely, and then we'll probably come up with slides as well, similar to this. So it'll be like more condensed information about like what the max fee is and all of that.
Okay, and then in terms of, I guess, other discussions about the information, will we be getting together, or should we get together in regards to that, or is it we'll take the information back, study, and then kind of make the recommendation in silo?
You would have to get the packets and you'd have to discuss at the meeting,
Okay.
not separately.
Got it.
Yeah, you'll get it like Thursday before the meeting, so you'll have that weekend to read it, right? Correct?
We send them out Tuesday. now.
Tuesdays?
Yeah,
Okay.
law change.
So yeah,
Send them out
so
Tuesday.
on Tuesdays, and then you'll have that whole weekend, and then at the meeting you already kind of have a decision made, and then you listen again, and then
Okay.
And then you'll
Yeah.
make that recommendation.
because we don't meet outside of this meeting.
Got it. Okay.
And just so you know what that's going to look like, it'll be a large, like 60-page report. At the end of the day, what you're recommending on is the new max fees. So we'll have the old numbers, the new numbers. It will be 3 numbers, 1 per service area. We'll have supporting documentation like similar to these graphs, most likely. Something like this, just showing how it compares to others. And the other part that you're also approving is these CIP maps that I've shown that are back here, and then the land use assumptions that we've sent. But at the end of the day, those are divided by each other and go to a max fee, and those 3 numbers is what you're recommending on.
Okay.
Help us help you.
The good news is you only
get
meet
it.
4 times a year, correct? So, yeah. But you're very, this is very important.
Absolutely.
We might meet one.
Well, more than that, because now I'm looking at the
Yeah.
schedule. So I just lied to you.
Great.
Yeah, last thing, and I guess the other part of it is you're not recommending this collection rate, you're just giving council the option, the max that they can charge. Then after that, it's up to council what their collection rate actually wants to look like. So if the max fee goes up, the collection rate doesn't necessarily have to go up.
So wait, we're recommending the max rate, right? That's what
The
you said?
max
Okay,
rate,
Okay.
so you're setting the ceiling, but council will set the actual
Right.
number below the ceiling that you all set.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
That's you.
You can close out.
Okay. Yeah, that's the end of 4A, 4B. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
4C.
And then you read off those numbers.
Oh, you want me to read the whole thing?
Mhm.
2026001 receives semi-annual report regarding the progress of the city's capital improvement plan.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Cindy Bro, and I'm the CIP program manager. So I help put together the things that you guys will see more in depth
Yes, ma'am.
down the road. I'm going to give you a lot of stats this evening on these first few slides, and then you'll get a little bit more in-depth detail from the other guys in the departments. So the first thing I've got for you is currently we're tracking 58 active projects in our CIP program. Our utility program is the water, wastewater, reclaimed water, which is about 25 projects. We have transportation, which is about 26 active. Parks is 5, and facilities is 2. So in that, we have in progress 3, which means these things are coming up very soon, like they've been out to bid for design and they're about to get started, but they're not quite there in the design or construction yet. So we've got 30 active in design and 24 active in construction, and there's 1 project that's on hold right now. Slide 2, this is of these projects, we've got a couple of things that are in the professional services procurement area, which means they haven't really kicked off yet. We're working on putting together their RFQs and that sort of thing before they go out. Then we've got some things in bid phase. These guys are a little bit farther along, ready to go to bid in the newspaper and get the information back so they can choose someone to take over and run the project. And then project initiation, we've got about 3 things there. Those are brand new kind of things that are just getting up and going. And then we've got things in the completed or almost completed projects. And there's about 10 of those over there. The last thing I want to tell you about is the coordinated efforts. We do work with Travis County, TxDOT, and Williamson County. These projects that are listed over there on the left-hand side kind of give you an idea of which other entity is helping with the city to put that thing together. The projects on the horizon, we've got the Trail Corridor Study, Destination Play Space, and an omnibus for construction management and inspection services. So right now I'm going to turn it over to, let's see, is that all mine? Yes. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Dunsworth. He's our city engineer and utilities assistant director.
Good evening. Thank you all. Appreciate that, and congratulations on your appointment.
Cool, thanks.
And kudos to you all for stepping up and volunteering. It's great to be involved in the community, and it's greatly appreciated what you do. Most off, we appreciate you guys supporting capital improvement program that CIAC as on CIAC. It's critical of what we do, as it were. And I'll try not to run off on too many tangents, but I'm passionate about my engineering program, and I'm passionate about the group I work with and our utilities. It's a great group, and we're doing some just remarkable things. The water treatment plant expansion. This is maybe you'll get one of these. I tell my young engineers, you may see one of these in your lifetime. We call this. This is one of our big 3 projects. It's an expansion from 17.7 million gallons per day to 30 million gallons today. It includes some upgrades regarding pre-treatment, also new filtration, extended disinfection. I'd like to add that this project is probably 5-6 years in design, but prior to that we had to lobby with LCRA to ensure that we were able to acquire additional water rights. And we were successful in our lobby attempts, and we secured an additional 12,000 acre feet per year. So our total is 24,000 acre feet allotment from customers from LCRA. Water's critical. You got to make sure you have the water. We all want a morning coffee. In addition to the water treatment plant, another very vital component. This is number 2 of our big 3 projects. This is 15-mile water line. I'm sure you all are aware that our water source is, raw water source is 15 miles away. It's in southeast Austin. It's a major effort. This contract was huge. It involved 72 different easements, different parcels. It was development 2 years, 18 months in design, another 18 months in permitting. We've been at this quite a while. Construction notice to proceed was issued in 24. Substantial completion is coming up soon, summer of 26. It's been a major undertaking. There are improvements at the pump station, includes 4 new pumps, a new emergency generator. Once again, it's 3 separate contractors. We felt this was our best chance to not put all of our eggs in the same basket, and it's paid off well for the city. There was a big push a few months ago. Everybody wanted pipe, and they all wanted large diameter pipe. So our contractors had to essentially get in line. But it's worked out well. We're going to be on or very near that date coming up this summer. In addition, this is the Rice Pecan water line. This is going to increase our service in the PCDC area along Impact Way. There's some large developments being developed, large commercial type warehouses. It's critical that if we're going to encourage development, that we have water available. As you all know, the fire flow demands in some of those huge warehouses is quite extreme. We want to make sure we have a volume of water to serve them so they can be permitted, be adequate, and be safe. And this is our third one, was referred to the big 3. This is on a wastewater side of the house. This is Greenfield Development, 6.0 million gallons per day. It's on Greg Lane. It's east and slightly south of the Executive Airport. It's way out on the eastern side of our service area, the growing area. It's a great project for the city. It's going to encourage our vast development to the east, and there's some future big plans for this project. We think that this will be a great source for DPR, direct potable reuse, at some point. So large area. It's upgraded treatment. It's we're able to control and forecast what happens. It is a huge project for us. This is another project to tell all my young EITs that you may see one of these in your career. You got two of them currently underway and a large diameter pipeline. So they feel very fortunate that they're able to see something and be involved in something this big. Final operation and startup for this project is going to be late summer, early fall. We have a seeding, commissioning, and startup period. This is a CMAR, Construction Manager at Risk. Was our best way of dealing with such a huge, complex project involving all the separate components of construction, coordinating, and funding. This is a $250+ million project. Kudos to the finance team and everyone for making this happen, making this become a reality. Really excited about this project. It's going to bring big things to our eastern service area. Another portion, whoops, I jumped one. You can build the plant, but you've got to get the water there. This is a 54-inch Wilbarger Creek wastewater interceptor. It's going to deliver flows through and to the plant. I'd like to mention that on the other one also, forgot to mention, Wilbarger also includes a demolition of the Weiss Lane lift station. It's at the end of its design life. When lift stations go bad, it's pretty ugly. So we need to take care of those in a timely manner. They get very costly, difficult to replace, difficult to replenish. A lot of difficult pumping. So be able to connect us to our system. And then we also have the Sorrento wastewater. This is on the upper end. This connects to the previously constructed Sorrento Phase 1. It's going to decommission additional lift stations and bring flow into Wilbarger. It's going to eliminate some of the bottlenecks we were having problems with. We've had some phenomenal contractors on these projects. They're all on schedule, on budget. They've been great to work with. And this is a Cottonwood West interceptor. It's going to provide flows. It's the Meadowlark subdivision. It's going to bring in, and this is going to empty into the existing Weiss lift station. Excuse me, not the Weiss. This is it empties into the Carmel lift station. It's existing, and this has been quite the development, quite the work. This one is underway, and it's going to be completed this summer also. This involves different components from the developer and also the city. It was a good team effort to have this all constructed at the same time. This is quite the puzzle we call the Wilbarger Wastewater Service Basin. It starts way up north on the north and west side of 130, up close to the Seton track. I think everybody's familiar with that parcel in the hard corner. We'll have underway also, we've completed the construction of the North Wilbarger. Coming up soon this summer, we'll have the Northwest Wilbarger Interceptor under construction. Currently in design is the Kelly Lane Wastewater Interceptor. It removes 4 lift stations and converts them all to gravity. We all understand that we have a number of creeks. They all have impaired water bodies, and it's critical that we protect them and stay in good standing with our regulatory agencies. Then we, as mentioned, we have the Weiss lift station that is currently going to be decommissioned. And then there's the other projects I mentioned, the Sorrento, as we fall down into the Wilbarger Basin and then eventually into the creek. The benefits of the bringing the Wilbarger Basin online, it's going to decrease our flows flowing to the central plant. Essentially, we're pumping probably 4 to 5 million gallons a day to the central plant. It's an older plant. it's reaching its I guess its design capacity, but now we've essentially split that in half. We'll be diverting flows to the Wilbarger Creek wastewater basin, and that'll increase the lifespan of the central plant, the efficiency and operation cost, and increase the reliability. There's a number of projects we have in design. We are a very active group. We've got a number of them anticipated bid this year in 26. Some others following up in 27. If you have this slide in your packet, you're able to look and review and study it. I don't want to bore you too much with the numbers, but I'd also like to add that we are bringing reclaimed to the parks areas here in East Pflugerville. We have currently underway a reclaim design project to bring a reuse water to the 1849 park. It's a conservation effort. Its benefit conserves our water resources and keeps us from paying Manville excessive amounts for water. It's kind of discouraging that we pay potable water rates. We pump it into an open pond, an open tank, and pump it out at night for irrigation. So we've figured a workaround. It's going to cost us a little bit of time, a little bit of money, but long-term efforts are exceptional. Next. Oh, these are some of our active projects. Kind of small print, my apologies. And to turn it over to facilities.
Hey everybody, my name is Evan Groeschel. I'm the Operations Director for Public Works. Excuse me, my throat's going out, so I'm trying to hang in. But I oversee several different divisions in Public Works, one of which is facilities, fleet facilities, streets and drainage operations, CIP transportation, and solid waste. Lucky for y'all, the transportation city engineer is here, Danny McGee. So if we want to get technical, some details, and he can jump in. Also, our new utility director, Matt Rector, is here. Is also if y'all have detailed utility questions. But yeah, we have a couple of big facility projects, as y'all know. Actually, 3: the Public Works Complex, the City Hall, and the new Park and Rec building. Downtown East anticipated to be finished fall of 2026. Then our Public Works Complex early 2027. We're looking at January, actually, 2027. Moving to transportation. So current projects, street package 1B, that's in the Saxony neighborhood. That's wrapping up. Street reconstruction package 3 also being completed. And then I want to mention that we're moving so fast that Cindy mentioned that package 1C, which is going to be the set of roadways just north of package 1B in the Saxony neighborhood, is in bid phase. Well, we've already taken that to council. They've awarded contract for construction. So we're going to start moving quickly on that one as well. And package 1C is just north of Split Oak. So you have the lower section below Split Oak, which is 1B, and the section above it is 1C. Also have the historic colored edition improvements, which is happening on schedule. Same Piccadilly, Royston. HCA expected to be completed June 2027, and then Piccadilly Central Commerce Royston expected in October. Kelly Lane Phase 3. As y'all know, it took a long time to get Kelly Lane Phase 2 done. Finally, now all we have to do is get the lighting right, so we're working with Encore on that. It took us a while with the design for Kelly Phase 3. There was some, as y'all know, right-of-way acquisition is a thing, and utility relocation. So we finally are getting that all squared away so we can move forward to bidding in April. East Pflugerville Parkway, Colorado Sand to Weiss. This is converting 2-lane to 4-lane. So we're about ready to bid that, and then this is going to be the 4-lane corridor with raised median and street lights. Also wanted to mention here, because there's a get to my notes. So let's flip down. So Cindy mentioned coordination efforts with other entities, and we're seeing that being more and more of a necessity. So y'all might have noticed that we've already started construction on East Pflugerville Parkway extension from Weiss to Jesse Bowles.
Yeah.
And that was a huge effort with Travis County. And in situations like that, where we are expanding our roadway to a different, Travis County, outside of the city limits, we will work with them to do an ILA or interlocal agreement so we cost share that. So we're looking at opportunities to do that. Same with, with Williamson County, with County Road 138, that Wilco highway getting improved, and then us improving, like creating a signal at Derby Day in County Road 138. So we're working collaboratively with these different entities. It's a necessity in order for us to improve our network. Emmanuel Road, this one's also been a long time coming. Finally have wrapping up all the right-of-way acquisition and utility relocation, so we can go ahead and construct that. That's actually out for bid, isn't it?
We extended the.
Yeah, we extended the bid to answer some bidder questions. So projects in design, Emmanuel Road 100% complete. Still working on Melbourne Lane, dynamic speed feedback signs. That was a grant project. And that's, to explain what that is, you might have seen that on Weiss Lane where you see where the LEDs telling you how fast you're going.
Oh yeah.
Well, that doesn't just tell you how fast you're going. We also can collect data from that. So like traffic counts, speed data.
Like the frowny face thing. Is this the frowny face?
Does it do the front?
It usually gives me happy.
Somebody's going too fast.
Just asking for a friend.
We mentioned these East Pflugerville Parkway, Colorado Sand to Weiss. That's actually being bid.
All these are open bid projects.
Yeah. Something else we're working on, not mentioned here, but it's impactful, is what we're calling relief routes. So we're looking at making improvements along 685, but we got to think about how we relieve the congestion that's going to occur as a result of us doing that. So we did what's called an omnibus RFQ, a request for qualification, where you select different, consultants. And we did that so that we could go ahead and get design started on these relief routes. So like Finnig Lane extension, that'll go from where it dead ends at 685, and it'll go through the green space and connect to Pecan. And then it also will go through and connect to East Pflugerville Parkway. So we're thinking of all these different routes to go ahead and create that before we start the construction. So it might be in tandem, but those are thoughtful planning and execution things that we need to do. This just kind of provides a visual meant to illustrate the projects within the context of the city. I went very fast, so I apologize. You all have any questions from me?
Are you thinking about that where Old Austin?
Yep.
That's what you're talking about.
That's also included.
Included.
Yep. All right, I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Good evening, y'all. I'm Jeff O'Shea. I'm the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director. We've also got a lot going on. I don't think I have to tell y'all, we've got a lot of great things going on in your parks, but we've also got the elephant in the room, or in the middle of town, that you can now see being built over there, the Monarch Recreation Center. So we're obviously incredibly excited about this, going from a 24,000 square foot rec center to 129,000 square feet. Planned opening for January 1st, 2027. This is going to be the second largest recreation center in the state. So Pflugerville's we're making sure that every city other than Allen, who has the number one, knows that we're coming for them. But this is going to be an incredible facility. It's going to be unlike all the other recreation centers in the state that are of similar size because of its proximity to downtown, its connection to retail, the plaza, City Hall. And so we're really excited about what this facility is going to bring to the community. It's going to have 4 high school basketball courts, which means we can play some smaller sided games on 8 courts. It's actually 8 volleyball courts, I believe. And then 12 pickleball courts in the gymnasium. So the gymnasium is going to be massive. That's what you see going in along 685. It's obviously going to have fitness cardio area, indoor aquatics. Actually, I do, the floor plans, so we can go floor by floor. So you'll see the gymnasium we talked about there in the beige. And when you come in, obviously the idea behind this facility is that it's multi-generational, so it's going to have something for everybody, all ages. You come in, we've got a multi-generational lounge in the lobby. You can see, well, I can't click on anything, but can I move this? No. Okay, well, you see backyard right there. It's circled. So that's the lobby. You'll come in there outside of the trailhead or inside of the trailhead. So we'll have a multi-generational lounge for particularly our seniors to be able to go in, have their coffee, probably have some game nights, or during the day have some activities. And then right across the lobby from that is you've got an indoor playground and child watch. So just in the same spaces, we're sort of taking care of our community of all ages. And then you'll see this purple down at the bottom. That's retail space that's going to be, it's obviously connected along Main Street, which lends to the uniqueness of the facility. We're really excited about that. Also on the first floor, as you go up, the Dry Creek, so the theming of this is sort of the trail or a park system. So going up the Dry Creek down the hall, there's an indoor turf area that's going to be primarily used for fitness and fitness classes and things like that. But we could have some skills clinics for soccer, football, things like that. We're not playing any games in there, but it's going to be a great multi-use space. All the restrooms and locker rooms. You've got family locker rooms, men's and women's. They're in the blue just below the aquatics area. And then we've got an indoor aquatics room that's really focused on recreation, but again, trying to find value in programming for kids, small kids, teens, adults, all the way up to seniors. So we've got a whirlpool that could be used for fun. It could also be, or a little lazy river type thing that could be used for therapy as well. Seniors going against the current there. And then you've got lap lanes, a splash play area right in the front with a 0 entry area. And then there's 2 slides. One goes outside of the building. You can't really see it in these pictures, but the other is this yellow slide that you see in the aquatics photo, which is going to be the first stand-up slide in North America, indoor stand-up slide. So it's like you're skateboarding or surfing or, I don't know what that's called when you do that from a boat.
Skiing.
Our goal here,
Wakeboarding.
wakeboarding. But you can do it on your bare feet too,
What's
right?
the
What's
other
that?
one?
Yeah.
Whatever. Feet surfing. I don't know.
Beach surfing.
Feet-
I'm so using
We're
that.
trying to find the idea is ask a teenager. We're trying to find something for teens, right? Teens are the hardest to impress.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
think that's going to do it, and we're also going to have some competition built in, so there'll be some timers so you can see who goes down faster, things like that. We truly want, like I said, teens are hard to program
yeah.
for. We want everybody of every age to walk in this facility and have something for them. So that's one of the goals. Also in the lobby area, there's an esports lounge. We know that we'll get the teens there. So go up to the second floor, and what's also unique is if you're in the turf area, there's a turf ramp that goes up to the second floor, which is the fitness area. And so you can push sleds up that, you can run hills, whatever you need to do indoors. Go up to the second floor, get your workout in. There's also going to be right next to that some bleachers, steps up to the second floor. So if you wanted to run bleachers like our coaches all made us do in high school and we hated it, if you want to do that voluntarily, you can in this facility. And there's about, I think it's 8,500 square feet of fitness space. Again, something for everybody. So we're going to have some world-class, basically powerlifting equipment, all the way down to things for people that are trying to come back from injury or seniors that are trying to get fit again. So something for everybody in that facility. You got restrooms, and then you've got, we sort of have a version of this in our current recreation center, the walking track that goes on the second floor around the gym. This one's got a figure 8, so on the lower, the one on the bottom, that's just a flat figure 8 if you want to go out there and walk. But the upper circle it's got an incline up to the back side of it. You'll even notice the windows that are on the tilt wall, they're angled on the northeast side because that goes up. And so once you're up there on that north side, there's additional fitness equipment. There's stairs that go down and up and then down and up again, so you can get a little bit of elevation in your walk. So if somebody just needs flat space, they can do that on that lower circle. And if somebody's looking for a little bit more, they can do that on that upper circle. And then third floor is programming and event space. So you've got a 300-person event hall, an outdoor patio that's overlooking the plaza and City Hall. And then we'll have two, they could be classrooms, they could be event rooms, arts and crafts rooms. And then what's also really cool, and our design team has worked really hard to make this possible. It was a lot harder than we thought it would be, is the kitchen. There's a kitchen attached to the 300-person event space. We really wanted to be able to do cooking classes, so that space is not just used by caterers or whoever's cooking for an event there. So they designed that in a way that we're going to be able to do cooking classes, and it's also useful for a catering team, which, like I said, sounds easy. It was a lot more difficult for them than we thought it would be. And so they figured that out. They did fantastic. And so we'll also have programming space in the kitchen on the third floor. Before we move on from the rec center, happy to answer any questions. Like I said, substantial completion for that is November and December. Our planned opening is January 1st. We'll be doing all of the pre-sales, probably starting early fall, late summer. Start doing tours once that building gets open to get people to, sign on for their membership come January 1st. And then I think any gym sees an uptick in use on January 1st. So we're sort of capitalizing on that, get everybody in there for their New Year's resolutions. But we're really excited.
So you don't have pricing out yet?
Not yet. Still working on it.
Got me sold.
Yeah, good luck
Yeah,
with
it's gonna be great.
Staffing and programming.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of folks. I mean, again, going from 24,000 square feet to this is, it's a pretty big shift for our department, but we're excited about it. Our team's up for the challenge.
Absolutely.
1849 Park Phase 2 is finishing up. These pictures actually make it look, if you look on the bottom, it looks like there's a lot of construction going on out there. And right now they're just doing landscaping, so pretty much everything is done. Construction is nearly complete. They're supposed to get power to this facility. Encore's getting power to it this week. So we're getting close to being able to open this thing. The only problem is that when it was built, when it was finished, we've got to get the grass time to root and establish. So it's going to be ready for play in March. So we'll do ribbon cutting. We'll do all that. But that's going to be good for spring use. It's 2 baseball fields. I think I've got the overview. The 2 baseball fields, softball field, and then an event lawn up on the north side of that. And then, get the trail around it. It's got playground. It's going to be a great spot. It's not quite big enough, so we've got some conceptual plans to build some more fields. We're looking forward to 1849 Phase 3, which is not really going to be more ball fields, but we've been looking at, we've done an athletic feasibility study to see sort of where we're short on athletic fields. Baseball is some of them. These are the first ones in our system, so we're really excited, but we're not done. We've got to do some more work to fully satisfy that need. But this is going to be great. Kelly Lane Park's in active construction. If you go out there right now, they're just moving dirt, but it's a pretty simple park, so it is set to be complete May of 2026. This is part of our neighborhood park expansion. It does have a playground. It's got trails, have a pollinator garden, a small little pavilion area, but this is also our first dedicated pickleball courts within our park system, outdoor pickleball courts. And so we'll have 3 courts, we'll have a restroom, and so we're really excited about that facility coming online. Lake Pflugerville Phase 2. So design is going to begin probably this month, this or next month. We just went through the design RFQ process, working with a design team right now, finalizing that. This is the northern portion of the lake, so it's the beach area, and then over to the northwest portion. So it's adding playscapes, it's adding additional play value to the existing beach area, and then it's also adding a trailhead along Silent Harbor Loop, with additional parking and a boardwalk in that wetlands area. And so this is going to make it a lot more enticing for folks to go out there and use the lake year round. It's obviously a popular destination at the beach when it's hot out. Starts to look like South Padre out there sometimes. And then also just giving people additional access. So if they're just looking to go and use the trail system, instead of having to park, if it's a popular day, instead of having to park in the lot near the beach, they can go park along Silent Harbor Loop. The boardwalk is going to be a really awesome experience for sort of like environmental education. The plan is obviously you can walk over the water, but our hope is that we'll have some interpretive signage out there, sort of talk about the environment, the local environment. Also talk about how special this lake is. Obviously there's not many, I think there's only one man-made lake in Texas, but this one's even more unique because that water is coming from 15 miles away, like Jeff just said. And so trying to sort of educate the community about how special it is that we have Lake Pflugerville, how important it is to the community now and in the future. So we'll try to do a little bit of that as well. But we're excited about the opportunity to get people out there for other reasons, adding playscapes, adding play value. Right now in the off season, it's really just trail use. There's not a lot of things to do out there. So this is going to drastically increase the ways that you can use that park. And then we've got Destination Play Space. So the RFQ for design closed on January 22nd. We're reviewing our SOQs right now. This is a destination playground that's going to attract people from around the region. So this has been identified. This was sort of site agnostic in the 2020 bond. We identified Bowles Park as the site for destination play for a multitude of reasons. The first is that we don't have to acquire land for it. We've already got Bowles Park. So we save some money there. But because of its connection to downtown East and everything that's happening there, its location right in the center of Pflugerville, we want the community to be able to use it, but we also want folks to be able to come from out of town and utilize this space. So they can go to downtown East and then they'll be connected to this destination play, or vice versa. They come for the destination play and then they can go to downtown East and go eat and try the rec center out, things like that. So this is a little bit beyond what we would think of in most communities as, just a playground or a park improvement, playground improvement. This is downtown Cary Park in North Carolina. They did a very similar thing. So they had this park in their downtown area. They were trying to sort of spur the economy there, and they built this beautiful facility that's multi-generational. It's got things for all abilities, and it was a huge economic driver for that community. There's a lot of communities that have done this. So this is our goal with this. It's going to be beyond what you think of as a typical playscape. It's sort of incorporating play elements into the landscape. We want, just like the recreation center, we want this to be a space for everybody. So we want seniors to come out and enjoy this space. We want kids with special needs to have opportunities to play in this space. We are particularly interested in trying to get a space for teens that are, feel like there's a space for them here. And so it's going to be a tough design process. I imagine it's going to be one of the most fun design processes we've gone through. This is downtown Cary Park. You can see they did a lot in trying to engage not just families with young kids. So they've got spaces for seating. They've got green space that they can program, and then they sort of have this elevated walkway throughout that's obviously heavily used. And so there's several parks like that across the country we're sort of using as our inspiration as we go through this process. And then just a couple of the projects. So Phase 1B of 1849 is complete. That was additional parking and then lights for the football fields. Murchison Park is complete. We did a master plan for Old Town Park, and then you see the others that we've talked about. Annual trail improvements. That's sort of ongoing always, trying to close trail gaps. But we're tackling that in a more systematic way now. We've got a 5-year plan for what trail segments and what trail gaps we're going to close, and doing all the engineering. And some of those are a little bit more complex, like including bridges and things like that we haven't really tackled. We've gotten a lot of the easy ones. We've transitioned a lot of trails from DG to concrete. We've made a lot of simple trail connections. This is tackling some of the more difficult ones over the next 3 to 5 years. Happy to answer any questions.
You got me excited.
Me too.
How many feet of retail's in the?
It's 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
And then there's 4 spaces. 3 spaces for retail.
3.
3 spaces for with 10,000 square feet total?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Is that right?
It
10,000?
seems like,
Yeah.
so just one question, it seems like a lot of this is already in motion and established plans and things that are already prospectively happening.
Mm-hmm.
What is the recommendation that you're looking for feedback on?
These are just updates on active projects and things that are kind of coming down the pike. So that's the
There's no
next step.
action
And
to take.
they'll be able to, Cindy could probably explain that better in the 5-year CIP process is when we're looking towards the future.
Alright, so April we will come back and PNC will be looking at, we'll do another update to you guys in April, but we'll also PNC.
You have to repeat everything you just said.
So, what we're looking at is we'll be back to see you in April with more updates, but we'll also have our CIP plan for FY 27 through 31 out there to let P&Z see it firsthand, and then we'll be back again. But you guys will be seeing twice a year. It's usually in April and October, November-ish, so you can get all the updates of what's going on with the active stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There's that 4C. Over. Done. Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the advisory committee and will be enacted by one motion. If any committee member desires to discuss an item on the consent agenda, it will be moved to the regular agenda for further consideration. These are both just minutes from our past meetings. So that being said, does anyone want to remove the minutes?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So can I take action on both of them? Or I guess take action on the consent. Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it.
All right. All right. There's no discuss and consider, so we're going to adjourn.
6:36.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes. A second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, we don't.
It's
Emily's
6:36.
shaking your head no. You don't have to make a motion. All right, we're adjourned. Either way.
Yeah. At 6:36 p.m.
I've seen so many